I wanted to get this video out just as quickly as possible to the Trump campaign and to his advice. I've done marketing messaging for over 40 years, and I've seen some major holes in what's going on with how Trump's coming across that can be closed very easily. And I see a lot of things that can be exploited against Kamala Harris that need to be taken advantage of. First of all, Mr. President, you have a bad habit of rambling when you talk. You cut yourself off, you don't finish sentences. You say those people and them. People don't know who you're talking about outside right-wing circles. 2/3 of Americans can't even name the 3 branches of government. When you speak, you need to speak with the clarity that a second grader can understand with what you're saying, without making people feel like you're in the second grade. I know you can do it just fine. Now let's talk about taking down the biggest weakness or ending your biggest weaknesses, which are going to be the lie about January 6th and also the lie about the 32 felonies. 32 felonies, because you know that Kamala is going to bring that up. I was a prosecutor and you're a felon. Yeah, name one other person in all of American history ever convicted of the same ridiculous charges I've been, Kamala or Madam Vice President. Nobody. You bring it up and you shut it down. Nobody has ever been convicted of such ridiculous charges in the history of the country. All by you and Biden's totally corrupt judicial department. Game over. You should be embarrassed by yourself. Secondly, the January 6th lie, I told those people there to peacefully protest. Fact number 1. Fact number 2 is most of the people were just bystanders. In fact number 3, 6 people there had handguns. Why don't you explain how 6 people with handguns is an insurrection? 6 people with handguns is barely an organized bank robbery. There's more violence at a pro-Palestinian protest or a BLM riot. Oh, and if it was an insurrection, where was their heavy weaponry? Where was their air support? Where was their cache of weapons? Where were their reinforcements? Where was their coordinated attack around the country? Nowhere, because it's all a lie. Now keep in mind, I would suggest bring forward as many huge concepts as possible. Don't go small ball, small potatoes. That's all Republicans do. That's why they lose. When the left attacks, they're a great white shark with their mouth open. They gouge out large concepts when they talk. It's Bush lied, chomp. It's tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires. It's Trump man Hitler, whatever the latest lie is. And then anytime they start with that you're going to be a dictator, this is what Democrats always do with Republicans. Oh, I'm a dictator. Oh, George Bush, he's stupid. Oh, Dan Quayle, he was stupid. Oh, Sarah Palin, she was stupid. Oh, Ronald Reagan, he was stupid. That's all you people know how to do. Oh, Mitt Romney, he was an out-of-touch rich guy. You can't pay attention to word one of the Democrats or our media. Totally corrupt. Don't tell them fake news. You're corrupt. Okay? Words need to bite. Fake news is not much better than liberal bias. That's just garbage, bumpkin drivel. Articulate. The American media, America's most corrupt big business. Although I would not be picking a fight with the media right there. You're going after Kamala, not the media, not the man in the moon. Kamala. Stay focused. Stay disciplined with this. So, anyways, that's how to get rid of the 2 biggest obstacles to you there. Kamala Harris and the Democrats back in June. Biden and the economy are doing great. In July, Kamala's going to fix the economy. I'm sorry, I thought the month before you were telling us how Biden and the economy are doing great. You are responsible, Kamala, for the biggest fraud ever perpetrated on the American people. Why in the world did you do that? Why did you prop up a president who certainly didn't have the mental ability to do this job? That's why he just dropped out all of a sudden after saying, I'm in it for the win. And who's been running the country for the last 4 years? And by the way, you've been totally disrespectful. Show how she disrespects her customer, her voters. Look how you disrespected the American people. You didn't win one delegate. You were voted in 2 different elections. In the last 2 elections, you had to be coronated by the Democratic Party's oligarchs. In addition to that, you've totally disrespected the American people by doing 0 interviews. Everyone saw how you had to be babysat, having Timmy Waltz there right next to you, practically having to hold your hand. You couldn't go on alone. You had to have a bunch of pre-scripted, pre-recorded, pre-rehearsed interviews. Is that what you're going to do on the world stage? What a national embarrassment you'd be if you were president. And let's talk a little bit more about your disastrous record. You gave $50 billion to the Ayatollahs, you and Biden. Although I wouldn't spend too much time on this, just briefly say it at most, because most people don't vote on foreign policy. But the world is a mess thanks to you and Biden. You gave $15 billion to the Ayatollahs in Iran that hang gay people from cranes and murder women for not wearing their hijabs properly. That money should have gone to the Iranian people, not to destabilize the Middle East. Thousands of people are now dead because of the result of your actions. Now, here's something else, too. Trump has noticed a drop-off in support among women. No reason for it. Here's what you do. The Democratic Party's had a brutal war on women, and you're now in charge of the party, Kamala, or Madam Vice President. Let's talk about this for a moment. You're the Democratic Party in line with the Islamists and with the Palestinians, where women have less rights than dogs have in the U.S., the West, and Israel. You're the Democratic Party in line with Hollywood, where women are just there to hook up with on screen, and violence towards women and men and animals is off the scale, and all problems are solved with a gun. You're the Democratic Party that has let biological men destroy women's sports. By the way, Kamala, let me ask you, how many sexes are there? Oh, you can't answer that? And by the way, now that you're against illegal immigration, what's your plan to deport 20 million illegals? But back to what I talked about. Aligned with Islam and Palestinians, where women have less rights than dogs in the U.S., the West, and Israel. Aligned with Hollywood, where women are just there to hook up with on screen. You're the party that has let biological men destroy women's sports, physically injuring women and crushing young girls' dreams. You're the party that's told women that it's okay to don't get married, don't have kids. Now, guess what? Many of them find themselves too old. Who's going to be there to take care of them? You should have thought of that before you and before the feminists came up with that, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. Now these poor women are going to have nobody there to take care of them. And by the way, Kamala, I'd like an apology for you lying about me the way you have done. When you said that I called the troops suckers and losers, that's a lie. When you said I wasn't at I was at Arlington Cemetery, I was invited there by the family members. And you know what? You were nowhere to be found of the family members of the people who were killed. You should have been there, and we should have had an investigation a long time ago. None of those people had to die. For you and Biden, there's a lot of blood on your hands. And by the way, your lie about Charlottesville, saying that I thought there was very fine people on both sides of the neo-Nazi rally. I said there were very fine people on both sides of the Confederate statue issue, and there are very fine people on both sides of the statue issue. Remember, make your point and move on. First impressions are made in 10 seconds. In the digital media age, the average attention span is 7 seconds long, 1 second more than a goldfish. It should take you 1 to 2 sentences. Oh, and you've been so disrespectful to the American people. After being coronated to get the Democratic Party nomination, you couldn't even get 1 delegate in 2 elections. So you had to be coronated by the Democratic Party's oligarchs. And from there, you've refused to do any interviews. The only thing you did was a babysitting job that had to be done with the media, that had to be pre-recorded, pre-rehearsed, with you sitting there looking at notes. I've offered to debate you 3 times because the American people deserve. See, they're the customer, the American people. She keeps disrespecting the American people. You're there to respect them. The American people deserve to have multiple debates. Will you commit to them now, or are you going to keep ducking interview after interview because you can't go ahead and do more than read off a script that's been pre-prepared for you? And it's been downloaded to you. American people deserve better, just like they deserve better than having Kamala Harris, you, saying that 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid. That's why we put them in dormitories. Obviously, you don't deserve their votes or anyone who cares about 18 to 24-year-olds when you make that kind of statement about them. And honestly, your campaign's really been laughable. Democrats in June, Biden and Kamala's economy is doing great. Democrats in July, Kamala's going to fix the economy. Well, why did you say the month before how fantastic you were doing? Oh, and now that you go ahead and flip-flop on every single issue, 1 or 2, maybe you're evolving your position. All of them, you have no morals or character. So let's not hear about your values. Your values are another San Francisco far-left radical. You're a pathological progressive. Don't say California radical. Take it down to a smaller area that people know. Don't piss off the whole state of California. San Francisco's fine. So let's hear about it. Now that you're against illegal immigration, Kamala, what's your plan to deport 20 million illegals from the U.S.? She won't know what to say. I can't wait to see the look on her face. So anyways, these are some of the bigger ones right there. I will go ahead and make a follow-up video for you, but this is the first one, and these hit the most important points. Be back with a second one shortly.